Hello, everyone. Well, it's 2 o'clock, so I think we should begin. And obviously, we only have around 40 minutes, so we want to get to it. Everyone, thank you so much for being on the Week of Work Retail and Personal Services panel. My name is Catherine Nelson, and I am a business development representative from the Governor's Office of Economic Development here in South Dakota. And we have 4 panelists here today. The first one is Cassandra Tiemann. She's the store manager for Mainstream Boutique at Lake Lorraine. We also have Tara Mortland, a cosmetologist at Revive Day Spa, Laura Benson, owner at Philly Flair, and Kelly Gould, the co-owner of Two Broke Girls Boutique. So thank you so much for being here today. We also have a chat. If anyone has questions as we're going along that they would like to ask the panelists, just put it in the chat. And so why don't we get to it? The first question I have for our panelists, and Cassandra, why don't we begin with you? Tell us a little bit more about your business and your role and what made you decide to go into this career field.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. So my name is Cassandra Tiemann, and I am the store manager at Mainstream Boutique Lake Lorraine here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. My job mainly, I'm the store manager, so I run all operations of our store. I basically say that I have all the hats on. So I work with customers, I work in the back office, like the back room, getting our orders in, putting merchandise out on the floor. I run all aspects of our business. This location specifically is a corporately owned location. So I also work hands-on with our corporate office to help with developing new franchisees, helping them out and everything. So that is a little bit about my position.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Tara, what about you?
Hello, my name is Tara Mortland. I am a master stylist here at Revive Day Spa. I also am a senior instructor for the State Board of Cosmetology as well. As a mom of many littles and a believer in Christ, and that is where I'm at here with Revive. I've been here for over 12 years and about 15 years in my industry. So that is my hat as well. I wear many. So I not only work behind the chair full time, but I also teach we have 3 apprentices currently here with the State Board of Cosmetology. And I also teach our continuing education of electric nail file in the state of South Dakota as well. So lots of hats as well. And I enjoy it and love it all.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And Laura, what about you?
Hi, thank you guys so much for having me. So I own Philly Flair Boutique. We are online. I have had several locations in the past and found that our sweet spot has always been online and growing e-commerce and just organically with social media is kind of my sweet spot. I do have 2 little kids and a third due in a couple weeks, and my husband and I also farm. So,
Oh, good for you. That's wonderful. And then Kelly, what about you?
I am one of the co-owners of Two Broke Girls Boutique. We've been in business for about 3 years now, and I'm lucky enough with my business partner. We both play to each other's strengths. So she does a lot of the marketing, and I do a lot of community involvement, which is really important for us, and working with our reps and all of our buying. And we're both just grateful. She knows all about this, but she wasn't able to make it. But grateful for the opportunity to speak. And I will say, Laura, that your boutique is it's awesome. Like Philly Flair, we try really, really hard to stay in our lane. We don't ever, that's in business. You always just try to find your niche, but then you see like these giants out there and you're like, someday that's going to be me, I'm going to get it. So we're lucky to be on this call with you today.
thank you. You can get there. Trust me.
Well, no, that's great. And, being in South Dakota, small business and what you guys do. We're so grateful and know that there's a lot of hard work, especially looking at this past year of how crazy it's been with COVID-19 and all of those things. What would you say when looking at, your business? What personal characteristics would you say does someone need to be successful in their role of owning a business, of even weathering storms like this past year? Laura, why don't we start with you?
Yes, I love the question. So I think I need to start by saying that in a very kind way, entrepreneurship is not for everyone. The demographic has changed in that sector of where people think it's cool. And it is cool. I love what I do more than anything, but it is not for the faint of heart. And it's not a fun, like it's really fun, but you have to be so committed. And so I think it really starts with having that attitude of like, this is it for me. And I'm sticking with this no matter what, through thick and thin. Even when my friends are out doing this, I'm committed. And just really realizing that it's going to take so much more time and work than you plan. And you reap the benefits after years. You will work for free for a long time to really build something that can withstand the test of time. And it's worth it. But it's not easy and it's not for everyone. I don't mean that in a negative connotation at all. But I think it is very important to note that entrepreneurship is hard work, and it takes thinking outside of the box. You have to look, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, but you have to look at something and say, how can I do this differently or better? And stick with something and run with it and not play the comparison game.
Absolutely. And as just another question, how long has your business been open?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I did a really bad job on the intro question, I guess. I've been doing this 11 years now. And when I started online first. So I've always been online. I did not have money to have a storefront. So that was why I chose that route. And for me, it just always made sense to be able to reach the masses much quicker versus in a storefront. I love the storefronts, but it was just a lot of time. And so for us, I think I had for 4 years different storefronts. And after I shut them down and just focused on online, our sales tripled. So.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Kelly, what would you have to say for that?
I would say Laura is 1,000% correct. There's a romanticized idea about owning small businesses and the amount of time, like we did. Most small business owners don't pay themselves for the first 3 to 5 years. So while you're building your business, unless you have some way to supplement yourself, and it's not easy. It is a lot of hard work, and you do have to be super committed. There's a lot of sacrifice involved, and down the road you will reap the benefits, but it's definitely a front end loaded project. Yeah, so I don't remember the rest of the question. Yeah, but that's definitely what I would have. Yeah,
No.
The reality is small business is tough.
Right. Yeah. But it says a lot that even considering this past year, I mean, that was tough in general, but I guess obviously for online and the online aspect, that did help your business a lot too. I mean, we are in a digital age now. So Tara, how would you say in this past year your business has been affected, or also what was your background in the sense of getting to where you are now?
Absolutely. So the way our business was affected was clearly we were closed down for about 3 weeks. So we physically touch, we give you what you need throughout the day for self-care. So not having that physical touch was really hard. So we committed as a team here. Having a great team, I think, gives you a huge structure. So we have a team here. I'm on a leadership team. So what we did was promise to go live every day. And we kind of tackled it that way. We took certain days, what we did live, we did color kits for our clients. We would let them drop it off at the door and they could pick it up. We did videos on how to color your hair at home. It was really a hard, black and white area, gray line to kind of go that way, but black and white, we had to help them out somehow. So that's how it affected us. Thankfully, we were only closed for about 3 weeks here in Aberdeen, South Dakota. So once we doors were open, we kind of hit the ground running, but we were constantly moving and growing live or digitally somehow with our customers. So that helped. How you got here today, I would say just always letting, I'm not an owner, however, I do feel like Revive is my baby as well. I feel like I'm almost a co-owner with Fallon Helm, who is our owner, but I always feel like I'm the right leg man to her business as well. But Revive doesn't really thrive unless we're all here. So it's a very team effort. So I'd say just keep working up and always asking what you can do more, how you can be better, education, and just continually growing, asking, the people around you, who you surround yourself is who you'll be. So always constantly growing for sure. So I think COVID was good to us actually, to be honest.
Yeah,
And we've been busier than ever really. So we're thankful, very thankful.
that's great. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
And what about you, Cassandra?
Yeah, so I kind of agree with points that Tara said. I am not an owner within Mainstream Boutique. I'm a store manager, but really what I've noticed is even stepping into my position, I had to treat my store like a baby because essentially it is mine. It is what I'm getting paid to do. If my store is doing good, well, then I get paid for that. So really, working it out, I came into my position at a weird time within COVID. I've been in my position for almost a year now. So I came in with the mix of COVID, and my store was actually closed for about 3 months until I took over. So really for me, I had to build our store back up, bring in more of our clientele. And basically, I don't want to say start from scratch because a lot of our customers did come back, but we had to work within what we were given. So we upped up our live videos every single week, focused on that, kind of online selling aspect because a lot of our ladies who do shop with us, they're kind of in those most at-risk categories. So that was the only way for them to get that experience. We also did things like FaceTiming with a few of our customers shopping around, but really it just took a lot of dedication, still is taking a lot of dedication and always will. And then also being committed to the work you're doing and having a passion to strive and success within your business.
Absolutely. Yes. Looking at being a business owner and being managers and working in the fields that you do, one interesting aspect is what level of independence do you have in your job? I mean, obviously, you want to have that work-life balance, but that's hard sometimes. So whoever wishes to kind of speak to that.
I could speak off that. I would say having your own independence is bringing something to the table that not others do, whether it's something personally you give to your clients or the experience they have. I'd say the way you do it is a way they'll want to come back. So something that heart to heart, like a servant's heart for me, that's just who I am. I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve. I will be a servant as long as I can for you. So I'd say to find your niche, be original, be yourself, but to find something that just serves you different than I guess anybody else. So just finding that whatever it is, finding it and using it to your advantage. And your clients can't find that anywhere else. They can find somebody that can do a great color or cut or find really cute clothes, but the way you treat them and the way you are with them really serves you apart. So I'd say that would be what my answer would be.
I love that.
Yeah, and as far as the work-life balance part, this is probably one of the biggest questions I get asked daily, honestly. And I want to be really open and honest. And it kind of goes back to that initial question. If this panel I know is for a lot of people that are interested in starting their own thing, it takes one of two things to grow money. You have to have time or money. So if you don't have money, you have to commit the time, and you're going to have to sacrifice at some point. It's okay. And I did for many years. And I think there's different seasons of your business. I think there's certain times when you're going to say, all right, and seasons can be a week. We have a super busy week, so I'm going to dedicate and I'm going to knock all these things out. And then next week, you know, for me, I'm going to make sure I take extra time with my kids. Seasons can be a year if you're having rapid growth, or you're building a warehouse or whatever those things are. If you truly want to succeed at what you're doing, you're going to have to commit at some level. When I started, online boutiques was not a big thing. And my friends were going to the bar and I was shipping orders out of my basement at midnight. And I'm so glad I did those things because now I have kids and I get to be home with them when I choose a lot more. So those sacrifices have certainly paid off, but it doesn't come without saying, I think there's no such thing as balance in a day-to-day, to be really honest. Some days are chaotic and then you just have to look forward to, I really time block my life has to be time blocked. I've learned the more I'm a very I like my freedom. And I've learned the more I actually time block myself and hold myself accountable, I have more freedom. So it's really counterintuitive, but it works. And just looking at, okay, if I know I have to get a whole bunch of things done right now, I'm preparing to go on maternity leave. So I'm trying to get a ton of things done. So that way I know, because I know it's coming really soon and I'm checking out. So all the things that I want to get done on my list, it actually pushes me harder to try and be super efficient and get those things done right now, and hold myself way more accountable and then receive the benefits of that on the back end.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else on that question?
Oh, I would just agree with Laura. There's no such thing as a balanced day. I shoot for a balanced week. Like, you know, Tuesdays, that's the day we do our live sale. I'm at the store from 8 till 10, or, you know, 8 in the morning till 10 p.m. at night, or whatever we have. And then the next day I'm spending time with my little mullet haired son running around, you know, like crazy. And if you are, you know, if you're, you know, going to have a family, just know in advance that mom guilt is it's more powerful than gravity. All right. It's a force more powerful than gravity. But no, just there is that balance, like the time block scheduling, it is crucial. I literally put in my calendar, spend time with children, play with children, because when you own a business, it's constantly, we're so hooked up. It's so easy to, just give me a second. Yep, I'll read you a book in a second. Or I'll spend time with my husband in a second. And you're just so plugged in. So it's nice. That's why we go on hunting trips where there's no cell service, so that we can unplug for a minute.
So smart. Thank you for that. One other question, Cassandra, what subjects did you enjoy in school, and are there similarities between those classes and your job that you're doing now that you'd like to share?
Yeah, so when I was in high school, that's when, you know, I got those elective courses to really just figure out what I'm interested in. I grew up in small town South Dakota. I always knew I was basically a girly girl, so I kind of stayed away from, you know, those egg classes and stuff just because I knew I wasn't really interested in them. I took my first business class, I think my sophomore year of high school. And, you know, just first day in there, we were going through the syllabus, talking about it all. And throughout the entire semester, I was like, okay, I love this. It is basically what I want to spend the rest of my life doing within the business field. Now, there are so many career opportunities within business that when you get a business degree, you have to figure out, okay, what do I want to do? What do I like about business? So for me, I always loved the fashion industry. I didn't know what I wanted to do with that though, bringing it into business, you know, obviously opening your own boutique, stuff like that had always been one of my top interests, but I wanted to get in the industry first to see if that was something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So it wasn't until college when I got to the customer service side of it and fell in love with it. So yeah, here I am today, loving every aspect of it. I deal with basically every aspect of our business, with like the numbers side of it, ordering, customer service. marketing, stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of what led me to where I'm at today.
Tara, what about you?
I would say, yes, I loved all the very hands-on courses throughout elementary, high school. What our school actually let us do is do like an internship, so we could go spend term or semester with somewhere we would wanted to do. So I would spend time with a gal that was our hairdresser, and I loved everything she did. I fell in love with her clients. I loved going to the salon every morning. So those characteristics of just knowing that I really enjoy people and I enjoy giving them something, if they're hopeless and they walk through the door, that they could be hopeful when they leave my door. So
Mhm.
something that I could give them. So I knew I wanted to do a job with people. And so I just did training on education, even in school, to see if I would like that. And luckily too, for me, I had 2 aunts that owned their own salons in town too. So that was helpful. So when I think I was
Mhm.
like 7 years old, I swept and dusted one of their shelves every Saturday. So I was in it to always want to kind of be that in what I do. So putting yourself in that, even if it's uncomfortable and you know that if this isn't for me, but putting yourself in there, whether it's just to train. And we always offer that here. If you ever want to come and just shadow us for a day, we are more than welcome. And we're always open to that. So it was nice to have that. So shadow sessions and hands in is really where my forte is.
Love that. Thank you. What about for you, Laura?
I'm probably the oddball out here. When I did not attend college a semester, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. So even in high school, I grew up on a dairy farm and I love agriculture. But I have always, my dad is this way. I mean, it was just ingrained in my mind of, I've been a problem solver, and that's probably the biggest thing you'll be as an entrepreneur, is a problem solver. If you own a business, that's all you're going to do. So if you don't like to solve problems, don't be a business owner. And I just think since the time I was 16, I was like, I wonder if we did this, could we make more money with this? And I didn't even necessarily know the financial side of things, but I was always trying to think outside of the box of like, it'd be really cool to try this thing or this thing. So I'm very much in like a big ideas person. If I were to go back, some things that really could have helped me, probably some business finance courses. My parents did not teach us a lot about money, and I just knew it was better to have a lot. So I did a really good job of making sure that like I saved it. I didn't spend before I had. I probably could have furthered some of my business had I had a little more knowledge in that sense. And then management classes. If you are at some level, entrepreneurs are usually not the best managers. I have learned that over many years, and it took me a long time to understand that about my personality. And it's okay. The other thing you'll see, just as like Tara and Cassandra, I believe probably are, is any successful business usually has a right-hand person that is really good at all the things they are not good at. Mine has been with me almost 7 years. I would not be here without her. And I think it's just really cool to see, like, the management classes would have helped me a lot to understand people's personalities and realize that it's okay that I'm not good at everything, and to hire for people that are really good at the things you're not good at.
Sorry, I didn't. Do you want me to answer it too?
Yes, please do.
Okay.
Yes. I know. I saw you reaching over to unmute. Thank you for that, Laura. You go right ahead, Kelly.
I think my husband wishes I had a mute button sometimes. But I was not interested in clothing at all. I grew up on a farming ranch in North Dakota, and I went to nursing school and got my registered nursing license. So as I'm working in the back, I like to joke with the customers that, I got my RN to fold clothing, but that's such a small aspect of it. But what that did teach me, what is being uncomfortable and failing forward. You have to be so uncomfortable. None of this was my wheelhouse. And like Laura said, there was different courses that probably would have expedited some of our growth. but you fail forward and you learn what works, and you surround yourself with mentorship and plug in. If there's somebody successful, you try to plug in with them if they'll let you. And it's all about that mindset, learning that mindset, and you don't really learn it. You just get it. Okay. Just get that mindset and that stickability. But yeah, no, I was not, I did not go to nursing school to open a boutique. It just, life is funny. So be fluid in your career choices. And once you do lock into something that you can find that you're passionate about and you can't sleep at night because you're so excited about it, lock in, grab on, and put your head down and get to work, because it will be rewarding down the road. So, and people skills are so important. And I'm going to do a shameless plug for a book that I don't get a kickback from, because the guy, I'm pretty sure, has been passed on for quite a while now. But if you guys haven't read, How to Win Friends and Influence People, it's 80 years old. It teaches you people skills, but people skills and that communication aspect is so important, whether it be with your reps, with, your staff, with whatever. It's just essential to success.
Absolutely. Well, this is personally a question I always like to ask business owners. And Kelly, if you want to speak to this first, what would you say? And I know in a roundabout way, we've talked about so many different things about the challenges and the great things about the businesses that you guys are in. But what would you say is your most favorite and also the most challenging part of what you do every day?
My favorite is getting to do is community involvement. We do fall fashion show fundraisers and our spring fashion show fundraiser, and raise money for the community. We do small business owner shoots to raise awareness, try to connect, like especially during COVID. We did a project where, we put our 2BG clothing on these small business owners, shot photographs in their place of work, and did a write-up on them. It's featuring us, but it's really like, here's who you're connecting with, here's who you're supporting. Fine, Amazon's great, but to connect with your business owners. They're supporting so many people in the community, and as a business, I really strongly feel that you can't expect a community to support a business that doesn't support the community. So that's one of my favorite things. And just the creativity. My business partner and I, we're very silly. We have a lot of fun. So that's great. One of the most challenging aspects of it is, boy, is it time consuming. I had no idea. I think I had read a blog of a gal that she had 3 different businesses. One was a CrossFit, one I can't remember now, and then the last was a boutique. And she said that by far, hands down, it was the most time consuming business that she had. So time and that balance, and we're blessed with a great staff. So I haven't ran into those issues yet.
Tara, what about you?
I would say my favorite part about my job is when somebody sits in your chair and they don't think something's possible. And when you consult with them and let them know that actually it is. I'm really big into doing hair extensions or hair enhancements. So if a person can sit down and they have really fine hair and you can give them some fullness or give them a look they've always dreamt of, and when you turn them around and they're like, oh my gosh, and they start crying and hug you before they leave, is like my favorite why I do what I do. And I love to share those stories when I come home, or share them with the people around me too, because they can see that, and they can see like you thoroughly love what you do, and you show it, and you prove it, and you provide it. That's like probably my most favorite. I'd say most challenging would probably be not enough time in the day to give everybody what they need, whether it's our students or our staff or the people in your chair. Time's limited, and you only have enough time as well. So not being able to do that, and just like my job's very, very demanding physically too. So I'd say that's probably a challenge, but just always keep going and striving. And that's how you'll get through it, though. As much as it's a challenge, it's rewarding in the end, for sure.
Yes. Thank you. Laura, what would you say is your favorite and most challenging part?
going to combine the two and say that my favorite part is the most challenging part of, honestly, when I really thrive personally, it's when I'm pushing the envelope and doing things that are outside of the box. So when social media or there's a lot of instances, but I'll use social media as an example, is super easy. Everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon, and that's great. You know, I'm all about community over competition. It's just that something's going to change, and social media
Mhm.
changes daily and constantly. And so it's a constant pulse of learning how to outsmart things, how to think literally, okay, how can I do something? It allows me to be super creative,
Mhm.
and test things and try things that are very challenging, don't always work, but then you find something that is like, oh my gosh, I've never seen anybody do this, and it works. And just being able to, I love the challenge that it's always changing.
Mhm. And now with going out on maternity leave soon, how big of a team do you have?
There's 60 with part-timers on staff. So
Okay.
it's, and the most challenging thing, outside of, if we're talking in business, for me has been just staff people. It's hard. It's really hard to make everyone just feel super at the same level and involved. And there's just a lot of moving pieces.
Mhm.
As all these ladies know, retail is not for the faint of heart. And so there's a lot of times I think there's an assumption that it's like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so fun. I get to try and close. And it's like, we're busting our butts in a warehouse. So
Yep.
I think that the challenge of that, but we have a really, really good team. And it's been challenging, but also rewarding getting to teach some of that and try and, like, hand off some of those things. And it's really cool to see, it's taken a long time. I failed so many times, but like Kelly said, you have to fail forward. Like,
Yes.
have to like get back up and say that did not work, or but being able to get to a point where my other two, I had no maternity leave, and I don't regret it. I was at a time when we were growing so much in our business, I never thought twice about it. But this time, to be able to, like, I can fully like shut off my computer for a month if I want to, is pretty incredible to be at that point. And I'm really proud that my team has made it to that level.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Cassandra, what about you?
I really agree with every single aspect that Laura, Tara, and Kelly have all said, because I agree with it. There are favorite things and then also challenging things. I would say, my favorite thing, kind of going off of what Tara said, helping someone come in who doesn't feel that great about themselves, or you really truly never know what someone is going through throughout the day or in their lives or anything. So really building a connection with our customers, and also, styling them in pieces that they are going to leave the store feeling so loved and so confident is one of our biggest mission here at Mainstream Boutique, and really at any boutique. You want someone to come in or, shop online with you, and you don't want them to not feel good in what you are basically putting on them. So I would say, my favorite part about my job is that styling aspect, getting to style our customers, getting to know them, building those relationships. And, as Laura said, my biggest challenge is with staffing. We are, I have a really small team to manage, which, I have managed bigger teams, and I would say smaller teams are so much harder to manage sometimes in some aspects. But, it's finding people who have passion for customer service, for making women feel beautiful within their own bodies. And, really just retail isn't for everyone. And you figure that out, whether, it's me in my position figuring out, okay, what do I have to do to make this employee a little bit more passionate about it? Or is this one just a dead end? So it's finding people who are passionate about their job and helping people.
Great. Thank you. Well, we have about 6 minutes left. And so I've got 2 questions that I want to make sure we get answered. The first one is actually from the chat. And the question is, did you have people or things in the way of pursuing your jobs? If so, what were they? So whoever would like to answer that question.
I answered on the chat too. I said, my family was very supportive in the pursuing of my dreams and my job. However, I did save a lot of money. I think Laura said that she saved it away for a rainy day. So that's what I did. I just worked and worked and worked until I could save and pay for everything while you were in school. So that helped you, setting you apart from any debt that you didn't need. And I would say any way to any people in the way, there's always going to be a ton of people in the way telling you can't do something, but do not listen and prove them wrong and do the best that you can. And daily affirmation, whether it's to yourself or listening to something, and surrounding yourself with like really great positive people will definitely help you be where you want to be. So I would say that's from me.
Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else? Well, I think, for the good of the group that's here, how can a student learn more about this career, and what advice would you give to someone aspiring to have a job in the future like yours? I know we've said there are a lot of things that have been said, but just to kind of clarify that, what would be that advice for these students looking into the future, looking into a career like this? What do you think is the best avenue to go about learning more about it and whatnot?
I'll start. I think it's really awesome to be at a point where social media has connected so many people, and it's much easier to get in contact with people that are maybe doing what you're wanting to do. One thing I can recommend is we're all super busy humans. None of us are above anyone, but try and find a way where it's not just like, hey, can I take you out for coffee, or can you mentor me? Because just there's a lot going on in people's lives. And so figure out a way to bring them. It was one of the best things someone taught me, actually. If you want to learn something from someone that's up the next level, how can I bring them value? And then in return, I will learn something from them. So if you're truly out to seek out a mentor, what kind of value can you bring them first? And it's taught me a ton. So that was personal advice given to me. As far as if you have a calling on your heart, there was a book I read, and that studied a bunch of multimillionaires, and one of the most common denominators is they were all very decisive. So they would make a decision and go. The longer that you wait, I think, yeah, you need to do your research. You need to know you need to have a plan. But if you're going to spend a year writing up a business plan, social media is going to change. Everything will have changed by then anyway. And at some point, you are just going to have to start. At some point, you're going to have to just make the decision of like, at some level, I have to get my feet wet and try this, or I'm going to be a sitting duck still in 6 months.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Laura. She did great points on that. I would say put yourself in the position of, like we do, for us, we have an apprenticeship, so you can come shadow us. And with our apprenticeship, you don't even pay for schooling. So that's a really neat opportunity. I'd say just get into contacting people that you would really want to do something with, get in it with them, come join them, see what they can if they offer that. So just reaching out or stopping by and say, hi, I'm the face to the name of what I want to do. I want to be like you. How can I? So I'd say always achieve your goals and keep after it. I love that too. So
Thank you. Kelly or Cassandra?
Again, both Tara and Laura just make fantastic points as far as, what if you are looking for that mentor and adding value, because like Laura said, people are busy. And so that's how you get your foot in the door, is what can you do for them, kind of thing. But I guess, just constantly working on that self-edification. And, as you're going through college, or you're going through, different aspects, different training, I'm going to be a broken record and just reflect back to, you can train in all these different things, but if your people skills and your communication skills are not great, that's really going to hold you back. So that's what I would add.
Thank you.
Yeah, I definitely agree with all of those points. They're all very awesome points. I, like everyone else said, I definitely recommend reaching out to the people who you essentially want to be, those people who have those job responsibilities or job titles that you want in your future. Reach out to them. Like stores like us, we do things like internships or even bringing someone on as a part-time stylist would really help kind of get your foot in the door and see if that is something that you truly are passionate about.
Wonderful, thank you. And thank you so much to our panelists. It's 2:40. So thank you so much for your time and so many wonderful things that were shared. And I'm so grateful that you do business in the state. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Catherine. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.